Hi guys, thank you for joining me on this blog hop for Crafting Together with All Brands. So the theme for this one is Love is in the Air. So what I've done is I am working in my Dina Wakley media journal, and on this page here I have prepped it by putting in some book page and then going over the top with my white Dilutions paint, just to sort of knock it back a little bit. We want to be able to see the text, but we don't want it to be right in the forefront. Okay, we're just going to get straight in. So I'm going to be using this 6x6 inkable, which has sort of got the love font in it there, because I thought that worked really well with this month's theme. And we're going to go over the top with our Distress Oxides. Now I've got Kitsch Flamingo and I've got an Abandoned Coral, because I thought that would be a really good mix of not being too intense red, and then we could add in some more stamping after. Okay, so I'm going to be using just a blending brush that I've got to work with these. Now you can of course use a temporary adhesive or some tape to hold your inkable down, but to be honest, I'm just not that patient. I wish I was sometimes. But like all of our inkables, if you haven't seen our inkables before, they are all made from a 350 micron mylar. And what that means is you can actually emboss these really well as well. Okay, so if you've got an embossing machine or something like that, they're great to emboss with. You get excellent definition and of course really good with your texture paste as well. So we're just going to go in with our Abandoned Coral, because we're going to go in with some archival ink stamping over the top in a little way. So this is going to be a really quick page, which I absolutely love to do. Especially, I think this journal's quite near its beginning, but I think sometimes when you start getting to the end of a journal as well, you like some quick pages to add together. So then we have just the love, and you can see what it is. The nice thing about this is because it's almost like a distressed on the edges font. If you do go a little bit outside, your blending isn't your best or your favourite or your most accomplished technique, it's absolutely fine, because you do have that bit of an edge there. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my heat tool and just give that a little bit of a dry. One of the reasons I love to use the Dilutions paint is because it doesn't resist ink. Okay, so if you're using an ink spray, if you wanted to go in with an ink spray or something like that over the top, you can be confident that if you have almost primed your surface or you've gone on first with the Dilutions paint, it's not going to resist your spray, which is why at Be Crafty we love the Dilutions paint so much. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in with a micron. Now I can't lie, I have been struggling with my microns of late to find ones that are still working. I think I'm getting to the end of all of them. But what we're going to do is we're just going to go around and we're just going to really sort of, almost like a wiggly. We're going to go around and we're going to outline all of this. So I'm not going to make you watch the entire outlining process. I will do that and then we'll come back when it's done. Okay, so I did actually find a better number 5 to go around and do it all. But obviously if doing a lot of this freehand is not necessarily where your confidence lies straight away, you can also obviously put your inkable over the top, use that to outline with first, and then go in and do a looser line after if you want. This is the great thing, you can do it either way. So what we're also going to do then is I'm going to go in and add in a few just little sort of zigzags and dots. You could also add in, for example, some faux stitching if you wanted to. I absolutely love doing a faux stitch, lots of fun. You could also, for example, do a faux stitch so they completely look like they're stitched on. I mean, that would be pretty cool as well. But you know, that's the nice thing, just have a play and just think about how it is for you. And the thing is, what I love about this theme, the Love is in the Air theme, and I think Julia hit on this as well, is that it's really sort of about, the art journaling is, you know, a bit of self-care. So that's also really good. Right, from here, we're going to I'm going to use this archival set. So this is from the Distress archival sets. And this is number 6, I believe. This bottom one here. We're going to use the Fired Brick. And I'm going to bring in, this is Journal Art Elements 3. Now what I love about this is, for example, you see these hand-drawn sort of hearts here that I do with my Posca pen. That's one of those things that I'm asked for a lot of people that aren't confident, so we actually have that in a stamp. So I'm going to take that and we're going to add it to, put it on one of our super skinny slims. You could use your journaling slim, but in fairness, mine's just got a bit of a sunder at the minute. And then we're going to ink this up and we're going to use our journal art elements to add in some features to here, okay? I'm just going to put that down there. I'm going to add those hearts in there. So if you don't feel confident adding in hand-drawn elements, the journal art element stamps are absolutely great because, oh, ping, it just means that you can add in that sort of hand-drawn element, but if you don't have the confidence for it, it's absolutely fine. Put those ones in there. I'm just going to see if I can go back over the top of there to get it perfect. This is taking a risk, I think we all know. But it actually worked out quite well for you. Okay, then one of my favourite stamps on this set in particular is this circle one. And I know it's one of my favourites because it really struggles to stick because it really needs a good clean. So we're going to ink that one up as well. Okay, and we're going to go and add in our circle. It's ever such a fine line, which is great because it's quite a delicate addition. And it's just to add in some of those stamped elements, give you more of a background paper. Okay, and then to complement the finer lines of that, we're going to go in with our coffee stains. Okay, I'm going to go for this smaller one here because although I want a slightly bolder line, and I'm going to go in with a VersaFine black, although I want a slightly finer line, a thicker line, sorry, I don't want it to be too dense and dominating, especially as I've changed over to the black ink. Okay, we're just going to circle that one heart there. Now the good thing about this little guy in terms of, is you can still piece this one together to make a bigger section if you want, or if you wanted to create a border with it. It really, really does work. I'm going to do this one again. I'm just going to centre that heart there in it. We'll move that to the side. Now the next thing I'm going to use from the coffee stains is this numbers. Now you will see this actually appears in 2 different places on the Be Crafty stamps, because a version of it, slightly different, also appears on your Journal Art Elements 3 in a different size. And the reason for that is it's one of Sam's absolute favourites, so she insisted it was available in a bigger size because that's just who she is. She makes demands, what can I say? So I'm going to put that one there. What I'm going to do then is I'm going to swap to the larger one. Now, it can be a struggle to stamp on this side. I like to hold it, but obviously you can put a bigger journal or a book underneath just to support it slightly. For example, I do sometimes use my Complete Works of Shakespeare, which is where the book comes from, to just sit inside so that when you're stamping, if you want to use both hands, for example, you can really press that detail on and you haven't got to worry. Okay, so I'm going to lift this out of the way, and again we're going to heat set. Okay, and then we're going to go to my white Posca that we were talking about earlier, and we're just going to add in some little highlights to these hearts. Probably needs a little bit longer to dry, but that's okay. Just to lift them back up, sort of add that doodly look that's going to go with the doodles around the edges of our writing. And then I might just add in some of those hand-drawn white ones. And then what I am going to do, we talked about it earlier, is adding in a faux stitch. So I'm going to do a faux stitch all around this frame, this page, to frame it. So again, I'll carry on with that and then I'll join you back up after. Okay, so I've done my faux stitch around the page, and this is one of these occasions now where I have to stop myself from going overboard, because I will sit and add in a faux stitch or white pen marks for the rest of the day if I'm not if I'm left unchecked. So you know, we could end up just a little bit of hand scribbling around these. I absolutely love to do it with a pen or a paint pen or anything like that, or even with a brush. I'm just going to fill in some of that so it's a bit of a stronger line. Absolutely fantastic. Do a little around there. Okay, but the finishing touch I want to put to this is using some of our wordy stickers. Now, if you haven't seen our wordy stickers before, these are sheets of stickers that of sentiments that Sam has come up with. They're available for a sort of a white on black and a black on white, which is really, really good. And on both wordy stickers 1 and all of them, to be honest, there's a real mix of phrases, of funny ones, everyday ones, and so on and so forth. Wordy stickers 2, you know, does sort of regress. But for me, I was looking and I was thinking, what sort of sticker goes with love? You know, the sort of things I love. And that goes for husband and children as well. And the only one I could think of that went the best was the My Kind of Weird. Okay, so what I'm going to do, because I think this would make a really nice panel for the front of a 6x6 or 8x8 card as well. So they do have rounded corners, so I'm just going to take those rounded corners off. If I am putting on my wordy stickers, I do like to use a secondary adhesive. They are sticky, but I do like to use a secondary adhesive just to make sure, and especially in my Dina Wakley journals, because they are textured, even if you've put something else on. So I'm just going to get a little brush just to brush that out. I'm just going to do the My Kind of Weird over the top. That brush has got a little bit of ink in it. It's sort of giving a yellow vibe, and I don't want any yellow. Okay. I'm just going to push that down for the My Kind of Weird. Which I really just think is the sort of epitome of love. Finding something that's just your kind of weird. Thank you so much for joining me, guys. Bye.